Have you ever wondered what really makes someone smart? Because I'll tell you, it has almost nothing to do with getting straight A's or knowing a bunch of trivia. Today, we're going to break down 5 specific mental shifts that make some people, well, dangerously effective in pretty much everything they do. So let's just get right into it. The whole idea here is that we have to completely redefine what smart even means. It's not about cramming more information into your brain. Nope. It's about fundamentally changing the way you see the world around you.
And this is a question we've all asked ourselves, right? You see someone with a fancy degree who makes just a bafflingly bad decision, or that person with a genius-level IQ who completely falls apart under a little bit of pressure. This right here, this question, it shows you the crack in our old definition of being smart.
Okay, so on the left, you've got the myth. This is what school taught us. Smart is about remembering facts, quoting books, nailing the test. But the truth, the real deal, is on the right. It's about seeing things differently, daring to think unconventionally, and wielding this amazing thing called quiet power. So what on earth is quiet power? Well, it's that unshakable presence. Think of that person who can walk into a super tense meeting and without saying much, the whole room just kind of calms down. They don't have to be the loudest one there. Their influence comes from this deep internal control. And getting that is the whole point of the 5 shifts we're about to dive into.
All right, let's get to our first mental shift, and trust me, this one is a game changer. It's all about completely rewiring how you handle disagreements. We're moving away from wanting to fight and win and moving towards just being curious. This really just lays it all out, doesn't it? Most of us, when we get into an argument, we act like we're lawyers in a courtroom. There has to be a winner and a loser. But the truly effective person, they don't even play that game. Their one and only goal is to figure out why the other person thinks the way they do. The second you drop the need to be right, everything changes. And this is their secret weapon. Simple, open questions. Just look at them. None of these are attacks, are they? They're invitations. They immediately bring the temperature down because you're asking the other person to reflect, not just to defend their position. And when people don't feel like they're being attacked, they actually open up. That's where the magic happens. And this is the key takeaway for this whole section. Look, winning an argument, it's a short-term high. But making someone feel genuinely heard and understood, that's how you build real influence. That is how you actually change minds. Okay, on to our second shift. This one is all about how you handle failure and setbacks. It's about moving from seeing a mistake as this huge personal crisis to seeing it as simple, impersonal data, just information. I mean, this comparison says it all. For most of us, failure feels like a final judgment on who we are. It's devastating. But the effective approach, it sees that same failure as just one piece of feedback in a much bigger process. They don't waste time and energy feeling sorry for themselves because they know it's not personal. It's just info.
And here's the how-to. It's a 3-step process. So you start with the event. Let's say you totally bombed a presentation. Okay, then you zoom out a little to see the pattern. You ask, do I always put this off to the last minute? And then you zoom out even further to the system. How can I change my whole weekly schedule so I actually build in time to prepare? See? You stop trying to fix the one-time event and start fixing the process that keeps causing it.
Our third mental shift is basically a powerful filter for your most important resource, your energy. It's about being absolutely ruthless about where you choose to put your focus. Think about it. Most people just leak energy all day long. We worry about things that are completely outside of our control, the traffic, the news, what other people think of us. The effective person uses a super simple but incredibly powerful filter. They just ask, can I do anything about this? If the answer is yes, they act. If it's no, they consciously let it go. And this is the secret behind that calm, cool, collective vibe we admire so much in high performers. It's not some kind of magic, it's a choice. It's a deliberate practice of focusing their limited energy only on their own actions and their own responses, not on trying to control the uncontrollable world out there. Okay, our final 2 shifts are so deeply connected, we're going to look at them together. And honestly, they might be the most powerful of all. It's about mastering the twin forces of silence and observation. You know that awkward silence? Most of us are terrified of it. We rush in to fill it with anything, a joke, an argument, just noise. But really smart people, they understand that silence is a tool. They get comfortable with it. They use it to listen. to watch, and to let other people reveal what's really on their minds. They own the silence instead of letting the silence own them. And this quote is exactly why. It's simple, really. When you're talking, you're not learning anything new. You're just repeating what you already know. But when you're silent, when you're truly listening and observing, you are gathering all this information that everyone else is just talking right over. It gives you a huge advantage. And that brings us to the final shift, observation, which is really all about the power of the pause. So look at this timeline. First, there's a trigger. Someone says something rude, or life just throws you a curveball. Then, you intentionally insert a pause, just a second or two. And in that tiny little gap, you go from having a knee-jerk reaction to a calm, calculated, powerful response. That little pause, that's where all your power is. And this is what happens. When you pause, you start to see the dynamics of the situation clearly while everyone else is just running on autopilot. You instantly become the calm center in the middle of all the chaos. And that is a very rare and very powerful place to be. So let's bring this all home. How do these 5 shifts actually work together to create that quiet power we talked about way back at the beginning? Here it is. This is your new mental toolkit. You can think of each of these as a simple practice, but when you put them all together, they basically create a whole new operating system for your mind. They make you less reactive, way more strategic, calmer, and just a lot more effective. And maybe the most important thing to remember is that this isn't reserved for some special chosen few. This is not about being born a genius or being the loudest person in the room. This is a skill anyone can learn. It's just about making the choice to shift how you think, one moment at a time. So, as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this last thought. Let everybody else chase the noise. Let them argue and react and worry. You can choose a different path. You're here to build something much more real and much more lasting. Silent, unshakable strength.